Once customers have made that decision to move to a terminal sterilization process, there are three main choices: steam, ETO, and low temperature, such as a STERRAD system. Now, the instructions for use need to be consulted to make sure that the instruments are compatible with the various sterilization modes. After that, a sterile package must be selected. There are several choices for sterile packaging, such as pouches, disposable blue wrap, or reusable rigid container systems. The vast majority of Astrolab instruments are available for use in terminal sterilization, such as steam, ETO, and STERRAD. We think this is the most popular method for customers, and it provides them a ready-to-use instrument set off the shelf for the surgical procedure. The advantage of using a rigid container system is typically the instrument set that is being sterilized is a scope or a very delicate, fragile endoscope. And placing it into a rigid container system provides an additional level of security and protection for that instrument. Also, rigid containers can be stacked without compromising the sterile boundary. This is an important fact because in today's OR suite, space is at a premium, so the ability to stack your instrument sets will save you space. The Astrolab sterile container system is validated and legally marketed for gravity and pre-vacuum steam terminal sterilization, pre-vacuum flash sterilization, ETO, and STERRAD sterilizers. As customers move to a terminal sterilization process, this allows them to sterilize their instruments ahead of the surgical procedure. These instruments are then stored on the shelf in a ready-to-use state for use at a moment's notice for the surgical procedure. The Astrolab sterile container is a great form of sterile packaging for these instruments. Astrolab offers clinical consulting services for healthcare facilities throughout the country. This department will perform an on-site visit to your facility, review your SSD and OR departments, and suggest cost savings and workflow process improvements to help you save money and improve patient care.
Thank you, Chris and Ed. ASP would now like to address questions that have been sent in by you or others prior to the airing of this webinar. I would like to bring back Joseph J. Hauser, Worldwide Director of Medical Device Manufacturers Program for ASP.
Thank you, Barbara. The first question we have today is, how do I know what reprocessing options exist for my device? This is a very good question. Because medical device manufacturers are already starting to address changes in their sterilization instructions, it is important that you check with the medical device manufacturer for those devices that you are processing in the STERIS System 1. As these changes take place, medical device manufacturers will provide you new instructions for use on alternative methods for sterilization. For STERRAD customers, ASP provides the online STERRAD Sterility Guide. This is a unique resource for STERRAD customers and provides easy access to view devices which have already been approved for STERRAD systems. The next question we received was, what are ASP's reprocessing alternatives to the STERIS System 1? For current STERIS System 1 users, there are two popular options, the STERRAD NX and the Evotec endoscope reprocessing system. The STERRAD NX provides the ideal environment for low-temperature sterilization for delicate devices and for other surgical instruments where low-temperature sterilization may be an advantage. The Evotec provides high-level disinfection and automated endoscope cleaning and reprocessing. This is a good alternative for those devices which don't require terminal sterilization. The next question is, what is the STERIS System 1E? Does it offer terminal sterilization? The answer is no. The SS1E does not offer terminal sterilization. It is a liquid chemical sterilant processing system. The SS1E can be used to process reusable heat-sensitive devices such as endoscopes and their accessories. However, the SS1E is not a general sterilizer. The sterilant used in the SS1E is a peracetic acid germicide. Because the rinse water is not sterile, devices processed using liquid chemical sterilization cannot be assured to be sterile. Our next question is, what do I do if no legally marketed reprocessing option exists for my device? This is a very good question. it's important to check with the manufacturer of each device for changes that they're making in the instructions for use. ASP is working with a number of medical device manufacturers to determine if their devices can be processed in a STERRAD system or in an Evotec system. But it is up to the healthcare facility to check with the manufacturer for updates as to their sterilization instructions. The next question is a very important question for all healthcare institutions. Did the FDA letter to medical device manufacturers change the transition time period? This is important to understand. The FDA has given healthcare institutions 18 months, or July 2011, to transition from STERIS System 1 to another legally marketed alternative. However, the FDA also gave medical device manufacturers only 12 months to make the transition to remove STERIS System 1 from their instructions for use, or February 2011. Medical device manufacturers are actively working right now in order to begin this process. This means that you may start seeing some changes in instructions for use as early as this summer. It is important for you to maintain contact with your medical device manufacturer to assure that you receive the latest changes in their instructions for use. ASP has spoken with the Joint Commission, and the Joint Commission has stated simply that healthcare institutions should follow the most updated instructions for use for their medical devices. The next question is, what flexible endoscopes can be processed in the STERRAD NX system? ASP has been working with a number of medical device manufacturers. Now, Karl Storz, Olympus, Gyrus, and Richard Wolf have all released flexible endoscopes that can be processed in the STERRAD NX system. You may also consult the STERRAD Sterility Guide. As medical device manufacturers update their instructions for use, we will add these to the STERRAD Sterility Guide. The next question is, how quickly can the STERRAD NX system reprocess instruments? The bottom line is that the STERRAD NX system is a great fit for the OR environment because it offers terminal sterilization. With its 28-minute cycle for most standard instruments and 38-minute cycle for single-channel flexible endoscope, it most closely resembles the time used with the STERIS System 1. Finally, what are the benefits to transitioning now to legally marketed alternatives? Healthcare institutions have a responsibility to implement legally marketed alternatives as soon as possible. Medical device manufacturers are already changing their instructions for use. Therefore, it is a benefit to you to make decisions sooner than later as to the alternatives that you will use for reprocessing medical devices. Now, Barbara, back to you.
Thank you, Jay, and thank all of you for your insightful questions. We will answer more of your questions and post them for viewing at www.aspjj.com/alternatives. We hope that you found this webinar useful. If you would like to view this webinar again, an archived version will be available on www.aspjj.com. Thank you.